Hey there, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a very different type of episode tonight. Um, I said this, I posted this earlier. I think a lot of us kind of share this sentiment, but this is an episode that we, for any of us, never wanted to make. I can't believe, honestly, I'm sure everybody here would agree too, and anybody watching this cannot believe we're doing this. Um, And if you can't tell from the title, can't tell from the photo, and obviously for me, we're in tribute here. So this is our Three Amigos show. There's a purpose of why we're doing this. If you followed us for a while, if you've been around long enough, going way back, maybe you've seen on Pod Squad, maybe you've seen all over the place. If you're familiar with our good friend Pagosi, aka Sinister Poe, as well as known as the Drunk Wizard of Gaming, we received some very unfortunate news today that Poe has sadly passed away. I don't know how, I don't want to beat around the bush saying it. This is going to be an emotional night because we're still kind of processing this. We just found this out earlier today. A lot of us kind of found out all at once. He had passed away a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you guys, again, if you followed the shows, you know we've had some on the air, off the air issues. It's just a lot of stuff happens. We all have that. But we are going to share some thoughts and memories. We're going to talk about some things. This is kind of our way of, number one, honoring him. We're going to continue that legacy. The legacy has to move on. We're going to share that a little bit as well. This
May I
is
make an interjection here?
no what
I suggest from now on, when we do Three Amigos, we include his photo on the poster in memory every time we do Three Amigos.
we'll figure something out. I have an idea for that. We'll work that out later. That's not we'll talk about it later. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Right now we need to just, this is more for us to really work together to process a lot of this. Because this honestly is just is a complete shell shock. I know I'm not alone when I say that.
No.
We've known that Poe, like a lot of us, has gone through a lot of personal things. There's a lot of things that he has shared, things I'm sure he hasn't shared, at least not publicly. So, but this is not the I will say for my part, I had no idea what was happening. Like I got a phone. I didn't see any of the messages, anything that happened earlier. I got a phone call from another friend of our. You guys know Skin and Bones has been on the show with us. Gave me a call. This is just this is the stuff of nightmares coming in. Again, this would be gut wrenching for any of us at all, but the hole that this leaves for us is just there's just really no words for it. If you saw my post, a lot of us have been posting. I should share a reel about this tonight for just to get you guys aware of this too. But this just absolutely is devastating. I mean, this is not. We're coming here unified because we're going to carry Poe with us. We got to continue on everything that he was working towards. You know, we working towards the same thing, same goals. You know, this is time that we need to move forward and do that. But just the whole scope of this is I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I'm going to open it to everybody here too. All those of us are here. If anybody else is watching at home, please feel free to comment. Please come on. You know, we want to get. This is kind of a moment to reflect. So, I just want to ask everybody here, and this is more just out of my own curiosity because we all really haven't talked much since we heard all this. But what was some? How did you guys like take the news? Obviously, all of you guys knew before I did, but what were your thoughts too?
I'll tell you. I was going through Facebook, and I saw that a poster was posted with Pagosi on it, and I thought it was like them saying goodbye to us, like he was retiring or something. And then next thing I know, I see the date of his birth and when he passed. I'm like, this isn't just a retiring post. This is something more. And that's when I realized what it was, and I sent it to each of one of you. And I was like, please tell me it ain't true.
Well, I can say that of everybody, I knew him the least. I only got involved with him when I got into the network, so that's like 8 months ago. But I do remember the first time I was on Three Amigos and he was on. And he was a personality unto himself, shall we say. Full of life, full of loud, full of positivity, full of energy. And I was immediately attracted to him as a fellow podcaster because he just had that je ne sais quoi about him.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's obviously never a good thing to ever have to go through this from a close and personal friend. And it goes towards, I mean, I'm not going to assume anything, but it goes towards if you need help, please get it.
I'll tell you.
Well, a lot of it is just to put into context. Again, we've talked about it a little bit. It's been shared before. It's not a big secret, but we're all dealing with a lot of things. And unfortunately for Poe in his case, there was, and I can say this, I will not say specifically on the airway because those are conversations between him and I. I can get through it.
You take a
sorry.
minute.
I'm just reflecting on I can still hear the conversation we're at.
Let me tell this story real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Haas.
I remember the first time I was introduced to Poe. Sam Crow, before I met him, told me that Poe was my biggest fan. And Poe himself even told me, I'm your biggest fan, Haas. And that's a memory that I'll cherish.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the verge of crying.
I'm trying.
I
was gonna say, where's that coffee?
I don't got any.
I need coffee.
I can't even
Can't even bring words to.
Well, while you collect yourself, Justin, I'll take over.
Yeah, go ahead.
I met Poe 15 years ago through Seven Sign and CNO. We clicked automatically. He'd send me little snip clips of him rapping. I'd send him little things of me singing. And for 15 years, that's always been the person where I would send little music clips of me singing Lost Boy by Ruth B. And every couple of weeks, I would send him just me singing, even when we were on our outs. And the last thing he said to me, I'm sorry. I will call you tomorrow and we will talk about everything. And that was literally on the 26th. And in a way, I feel it was my fault because me and him were in an argument, and I was on his podcast, me and him, and we worked together, and we were a strong team. At the end of the day, me and him were a strong team for Bone Thugs and Harmony. And he said, me and him made it. We made the dream come true of Seven Signs and CNO talking again, which we did. We fought hard for 2 years for CNO and Seven Sign to start talking again. And that was literally our last message between each other. And that was the morning of his passing at 4:17. And it really is hitting at home because literally I've been texting him almost every day since then. And I haven't, like, now I know why he hasn't answered, because, you know, he passed. And for 15 years, that's been like a brother to me, because I can tell him anything. I was able to always, if I was in a singing mood and I didn't want nobody else to hear me sing, that's exactly who, you know, I had to went to sing. And it just deepens my soul that, you know, I don't have my little singing partner no more. But on this episode, I am going to sing the song that he enjoyed hearing me sing. I'm going to try to get through it.
I just, again, the one thing I keep saying, and it's such a cliche with that, but there's absolutely, there's no way to put something. I mean, this is the epitome of what soul crushing really is. The the problem I have, and again, I share sentiments of, you know, the only thought comes to mind is I wish he would have called me. I could have definitely talked to him. You know, I talked to him before. But you know, he struggled with a lot of things. And
Me,
some things maybe we didn't even know about.
we definitely, me, you, and him definitely have talked about a lot. And Houdini, you know, he was very comfortable with us three.
Yeah.
I know he's talked to Dini about a lot of things. I know he's talked to me about a lot of things, and you as well. And I just wish, you know, we knew the cause to rest ourselves, you know, because we're just speculating of how and why. Um, but it's just heart wrenching to have to go through something when you lose a friend that's considered family to you. And I was definitely working on getting him to come as a guest on the show, and that's pretty much, that was what we talked about on the 26th and or the 25th and the 24th, was him unblocking you guys for him to come on an episode right after I had moved. And I was trying to get the little family that we had back together, at least for one time, even if, you know, he didn't want to come back again. But I was able to see his presence before I had moved on Three Kings. And I'm glad I did that episode with him.
It's just, you know, we shared this. You guys might know too. We did the episode where we changed gears a bit. You know, Poe made his feelings known about he wanted to do other things. Three Amigos was shifting, but obviously he's still a major part of that. Which I will share that in a little bit, kind of give you more backdrop of that story. I know you guys probably, a lot of you guys probably, I know Big Hoss is aware of it because he was there. But it's just, I mean, you hear these kind of things, you deal with this, but there's just, I don't know, it's just, the reality is just, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's definitely a fortunate, you know, that this has occurred. I wish we would have all knew so we could have at least got to the funeral, but I understand, you know, it's family, it's personal. And I'm glad Deanie went out and tried to find the location of him. Yes, it wasn't a good outcome, but at least we know he's in a happier place. He's up there doing a podcast with Biggie, Tupac, and anybody else that, you know, he wanted to do a podcast with. So that's the positive side. He's definitely up there living his life, drinking a 40.
Yeah.
He's definitely living it up right now, and that's the positive side.
As little as it is.
Partying it up there.
Yeah. Well, I think. Oh, you're not taking a hit. You can take a hit for him, but you could do something there. But
Take a hit for him.
yeah. Yeah. This is.
I just came out.
Oh man, this is just. Again, you hear a lot about this. I'm gonna let you guys chat for a minute. I gotta go get a tissue. I don't have anything nearby. I'll be right back. I do want to share some things too, but
I think I'm gonna sing this song.
go
So
for it.
I have the
If you got it, and
energy
don't be afraid. If you don't get
without
through all the way, just
crying.
nope.
I'm gonna try my hardest.
Take your time.
Make sure you get those high notes.
No, I don't have really high notes. So I do apologize if it sounds shitty because I have a messed up throat. I've been crying, so we're gonna try it.
Go for it, Amber.
There was a time when I was alone, nowhere to go and no place to go. My only friend was the man in the moon. Even sometimes he would go away. Then one night as I closed my eyes, saw a shadow flying high. He came to me with the sweetest smile. He told me he wanted to talk for a while. He said, Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Ever. I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from our love, reality. Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. Neverland is home to lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. Sprinkled me in pixie dust and told me to believe in him and believe in me. Together we will fly away in a cloud of green to the beautiful destiny. We soar above the time that never loved me. I realized I finally had a family. Soon enough we reached Neverland. Peacefully my feet just stand ever since I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And when we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run, run, lost boy, they say to me, away from our love, reality. Neverland is home to lost boys like me. The lost boys like me are free. Neverland is home to the lost boys like me. And lost boys like me are free. Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Wendy, darling. Even Captain Hook, you are my perfect storybook. Neverland, I love you so. You are now my home, sweet home forever. A lost boy, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Wendy, darling. Even Captain Hook, you are my perfect storybook. Neverland, I love you so. You are now my home, sweet home forever. A lost boy, and for always, I will say, I am a lost boy from Neverland, usually hanging out with Peter Pan. And we're bored, we play in the woods, always on the run from Captain Hook. Run,
I'm lost lately, away from love, reality. Never left home, so lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. Never left home, so lost boys like me, and lost boys like me are free. I almost cried in the middle of that song. I had to like hold myself.
That's hey, that's you know what? Considering that's pretty good. There's another favorite we have. That was a fun one.
That was definitely
Yeah,
his favorite
I
song
can,
to hear.
I can remember designing that with Poe in mind. As I put the party girls down below, I remember going, "Do you think he would fit this?" Yeah, I think he would.
Yeah, he loved it. He also loved this one too quite a lot. So
Yeah. Every time I designed something, I was like, "What do you think he'd say?" And it always brought a smile to my face.
he yeah. Hey, and to your credit, I know you came in later, but he said how much he liked, and he doesn't say a lot of people. So
I appreciated the short amount of interactions we had, and I even had quite a few offline just in chat. And let's just say, if I couldn't sleep at 3:30 in the morning, I knew who else was up.
Yeah. So.
bloody hell. I wanted to share just because.
Here lately, if you can't sleep at 3 in the morning, I've been up.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Sorry, Sam. What did you want
No,
to
that's all right. I want to share. So my and this kind of shares about a personal phone call too from him, but because we always said about how much we kind of bonded over when we met on the show. I never met Poe beforehand. Deanie had invited me on the show they were doing. And I've told him, later on at certain points, which was absolutely true, that, I kind of felt the closest with him there. I loved everybody there. Don't misunderstand me. It was just if you go back, and we still have them on our channel somewhere, you can watch the episodes. I think we still have them restreamed, but there was a lot of we had interactive moments. And, when things had gone off and when, things went on a break, I reached out to him saying, I want to get back into it. We gotta keep the ship going again. He's like, yeah, this is great. What do we want to collab on? And we started, doing all these things, and which essentially led to the creation of what this show is now. It's weird though, because you try to put life in a perspective. We all know that death's going to happen for everybody at some point. You just don't you don't want it to be like with this. You just, I mean, I don't know. And again, I said this in the description of this video, and I'm unapologetically apologetic, but I'm not. This is going to be emotional for us because this is not. I can't stress enough. This is not something we really wanted to be doing, but this is kind of for us. We need these moments. It's just it's just so hard to believe we're at this point. I never envisioned this for anybody to be at this point. That call today has permanently ingrained in my brain of, I got a text from Skin, and as soon as he called me, he's like, "You didn't hear?" I said, "No," and I'm like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Like, I can't hear this today. I cannot hear this right now." I mean, and it's hard because, we said this earlier. We were talking earlier a little bit, and I said, I will say this publicly because I want this on the record. If anybody watches this back, whatever down the road in the future, despite what was said, despite things that were taken out of context, we squabble. It's like the family thing, as said, we squabble over things. I had always said, And I truly hope in the bottom of my heart that regardless of what happened, whatever was going on at the end for him there, that I personally made it known that the friendship comes first before anything else. You can always reach out to me. I never close that door on people. Now maybe it could have been afraid. I suspect there was some fear of coming back. Like, I shouldn't act. I will never hold anything over that. Everybody has their moment in the spotlight under the sun. It's human nature. It happens. So I truly hope he knew that. I'm sure down deep he probably did. But I don't know. The question that boggles me, and we won't know this, but like, how? I guess the only way to really say this, the best way, is just how we get to this moment. Like, I mean, again, there's a lot of backstory, which again we're not going to get into. We're not going to share. That's personal for a lot of reasons. But it's just my mind has been going nonstop since hearing that. With I don't know. You just get like, for my guilt trip moment, like Amber said, you worry about the things that you're saying up to that point. My gut is like, I just wish I had no way to reach out. I really wish I had a way to do that, because I can tell you, and if anybody knows me for that, I would have been on the phone just like that. I've even called at times. I know there was one particular night. I think I was editing. I was doing something. We did one of the shows, and I don't remember if he started the conversation, but he reached out and kind of said, "Are you awake?" kind of thing. And I said, "Yeah." So, "Is everything okay?" I forget how I was. And I said, "Well, do you need to talk? Do you want me to call you?" He called me. My phone rang. Talked for like maybe an hour or so. I shared about some personal things going on with me. I don't even want to go down that road because I'm going to start crying. I just got myself cleared out here. But I don't know. I just feel like, and it's probably gonna be my cross to bear for a little bit. I feel like there's more. I'm one of those types, like, I wish I could prevent things from happening, and I kind of feel like I could have done that. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I don't know. Of course, we all would love to change the outcome and change history of it. It's just this is one you just don't recover from entirely. And I mean, maybe I'm speaking for myself. There's just no way to recover from this. This is life as you know it changes, obviously. Can even imagine for those like you guys known him longer. I only knew him for a couple of years, but in fact, we didn't know Amber until we actually got really talking with Bo. That's how we met Amber. So that's kind of how things came full circle. I think for me, and I'll leave this up to you guys if you want to share in your own way. I know Bill said it earlier too. We all have feelings and emotions, and things really bottle up. And I know for a lot of us, certain people, and I know because I talked to Poe about this, some of the same things, I'm not one to overly share my feelings, but sometimes you really have to be there for somebody, even if it's just a constant reminder of, I'm here to talk, even if you don't want to talk. You really need to just let somebody know you're there. Because in those key moments, when a person does feel at their lowest or does feel they're struggling or whatever it is, they might remember you. And that's why I said I got that call. Pose like, can we chat kind of thing. I'm like, sure. So if you have it with friends, family, whatever it is, just please be mindful of that. Talk to somebody having a bad day. It doesn't matter how minor it is either. We all have moments, but please make sure that you do that. I think we'll take a moment here. I'm going to turn cameras off at least for us, just to help with the background. But we're going to take a moment of silence here, at least a couple moments. Obviously, this is our tribute episode. This is both touching, special, and bittersweet and hard. This is a flurry of emotions. I'm going to put this up. If you want to comment, please do, wherever you're watching this. Whatever you'd like. If anybody wants to chat or call in or say anything, please feel free to. But we want to take just a couple moments. We're not going to play anything. We just want to give us a moment to collect ourselves. Really just showcase a good friend here. Again, this is kind of our way of processing this and sharing together. So please give us a few moments there if you would. We'll come back here. I'm just going to pause everybody real quick. And then we're going to talk some more. And again, if you knew Poe or are familiar with him or worked with him around there, send some stories. Put them in the comments. You don't have to call in, but if you want to share some things, we'd love to hear from you. But please join us just in a moment of silence here for all of us, as we, in a way, it's kind of our way of saying goodbye. So please bear with us. All right. We'll definitely do that again at some point, but just want to make sure that we did that. So yeah, wow. So many thoughts go through your mind. Still a lot of thoughts go. I have not really been able to. It processed a little bit for myself. Can only imagine everybody else. Especially for me coming later to the party. Everybody else kind of knew.
I'm heartbroken. I am. Because, like I stated earlier in our private chat, like I definitely feel like, I shouldn't have yelled at him as much for the last couple of weeks. But I just feel awful. I really do.
I know. Listen, as I said too, it's you can't. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done. You can't really beat yourself up too much for that. Given the status of things that were happening, I see it more so as really. And knowing Poe, again, I don't know him as long as you did, but getting to know enough about him, and I know he cared. Like, I'm hoping that he really took it more as a tough love kind of moment. Because sometimes, and he's said before, I know we've all had these blurbs of conversations with him at different intervals, and he has said, I know everybody's just trying to look out, and I know I can be a jackass at times and things like that. I think the more important, better notion is to consider that the love there was really more than anything else. So I truly believe he knew that. Regardless, I say this just to be not transparent. I say this to say this but not overshare, is I think whatever, regardless of the outcome of what led to this point, I believe he knew. I think he was in the moments of himself. He felt he had to be. I don't think that was a slight at any of us, anybody else that really knew him. And again, we don't know what played factors behind the scene. We know it was talked about. He planned, at least from what he had shared, a trip to Disney. He was going to do a bunch of things. I don't think that ever happened. I we don't know. Maybe something life changing happened that we weren't aware. There's all these things that play into that. So, at least I like to think that way. I don't see it as swaying, influencing either way. And I think even if we had conversations with him, regardless if he was feeling or dealing with anything, whatever the reason is, it's sweat a little bit. Probably put it on later. I don't think necessarily would have tipped the scale either which way. I could be wrong, but we all know that his personality was so big that he just, he danced and walked to the beat of his own drum. And truthfully, the way life starts and the way life ends were, he always went on his terms, no matter what it was. So, as shockingly eye-opening as this reality is, and like even Big Hoss's moment saying, I don't want to think it's real, but you kind of have, and I say this in the mental health, we talk about it a lot, and it's kind of a big thing, and I have said this, and I do mean this. One of the changes going to be is we really are going to be dead fast focusing on mental health, and as I said, talking to people, understanding, because those struggles are real. And again, we've heard a lot of times people say, you should share, you can share. You can't make people share anything, but you can at least be present. I think we were that, even though we weren't able to do as much as we would have liked. But I don't know. That's just, at least for me, how I try to cope with the reality of what we're dealing with and what's happened now. It's just such a, yeah.
I thought of something. Why don't we go around, and what's the first word you think of when you think of Poe?
Oh, that's easy, but I'll go last.
Amber, you've known him the longest. What's the first thing you think of when you think of Poe?
There's so many things that I think of Poe that come to mind.
But if I said, "Hey, think of Poe," what's that first initial thought?
Lost Boy.
The party is here.
Can I get on camera? I would say energy. I remember the first time I was on with Poe, and I used to always like joking every time he came on what his background was going to be, because the background on his computer was always like the back room of a casino or it's a party situation. And I think that was reflective of his personality and of his being. Had he had a little bit to drink? Yeah. Was he a hell of a guy to talk to at that time? Yeah. And so I think the podcaster in Poe was a strong percentage of the person Poe was. Now, we don't know behind the scenes. We don't know. I mean, there's obviously going to be some things that nobody knows about, but let's remember the Poe that I remember, the one that smiles. I can still to this day remember him going, "Oh, you guys are going crazy tonight." That's who Poe was. He had controlled energy, but he was always for everybody. So that's, I think of energy.
Yeah, well, for me, obviously, there's a lot, but I use the catchphrase. I catch myself doing. I did a lot. Probably do a lot more now, but bloody hell is always the thing I think about. Oh, and of course, I'm going to be using that as, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Yeah.
Me and him, we bonded a lot, especially with the song Lost Boy. Like for years, I would sing it to him. Me and him sang it on his podcast quite a few times. And that was one of the absolute most favorite songs that he liked and enjoyed. And he said he related to it a lot. and he just loved when I sang anything to him. It's just, and now I see, you know, where it's relatable.
Yeah.
He's flying in Neverland. That's what he's doing.
All I want to say is, Paul, if you're up there, crank it up. Have the party of your
Absolutely.
lifetime.
Have
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 a pop. Put on that rock and roll or that hip hop, whatever you're in the mood for, and start jamming with Jimi Hendrix and anyone else that's up there you want to chill with. Tupac and Jimmy would be a hell of a backup band.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's up there, you know, doing his podcast with, you know, everybody that he always wanted to do it, but you know, they were no longer here to actually do it with.
Well, one thing we are going to do, and as I said, I get certain perks at my position with that. So what I'd like to do, and I think it's only fitting now that we know this, we are going to have I think at least once a year, I think I'll do our Pagosi tribute day. I think it's only appropriate to be on his birthday. His birthday is coming up, actually. So unless anybody's opposed, I'm guessing nobody's going to be opposed, and I don't care anyway. I just think that'd be a nice tribute thing, and just kind of a remembrance day. I think that's a nice way we carry the memories on. I know I've talked to others about this too. I relied on him heavily to learn how to be a good content creator, podcaster, all that stuff. And I'm gonna say this here, and again, unapologetic. We're gonna hit the goals that he wanted. We're gonna make that happen for us. Because this whole thing has got me hell bent on it's gonna happen, and I'm not. And he always said you got to speak it into existence. I'm speaking it into existence, and I will go to great lengths to carry everybody. We all work together, but I personally will go to great lengths to carry it because this is a shared goal that we all have. This is a goal that he was a part of that and helped inspire that. Those goals are going to be accomplished. Now, I might be wrong and I might be crazy for saying that, but I'm going everything he always told me and showed me what to do and said, you know what? You got to just do you. You got to get out there. You got to be, you don't care about what other people think. You just got to put stuff out there. So, this whole thing and the unfortunateness of it has reaffirmed my goal of our commitment when we started trying to pick things up again for a while. Making podcasting great again, being the best version of us. And just really wanting to see that through. Not just for that reason for him, but for us. But it feels like it's kind of like a mission. I want to see that through. For nothing else, because obviously, for his contribution, he's not going to be able to see that to completion. But I think it's our job at this point that we carry that torch. The discussions with the shows we've done before, and Poe even said we talked a lot about. He complimented how good I was. He said you're very much like Deanie, which is true. I do share similarities there. Said you're kind of the Deanie of now, trying to build for the future. I said, well, yeah, I want us to grow, succeed, all that stuff. And truth be told, a lot of the visions of what was created, and actually, really, honestly, I know it was more Deanie's notion, but Poe did help with that too. That's what gave the idea, and that's what helped create the network. Quite honestly. So that's kind of my mission, and I'm positive you guys will support and join me on that, working together to do it. But I want to carry that on. I will say, you know, as gut wrenching as it was, and he said it through a bunch of tears today. We will be talking to Skin and Bones. He definitely wants to do. He said, I got to pick up that mantle for him. If you can help me, we and if you're watching, brother, we can definitely help you. We will be in touch about that. But we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to him. You know, we've got to make this work and go on. So. If we weren't determined before, if I wasn't determined before, I sure as hell am now. So I'm, you know, I just all these thoughts, all the positive things he told me about doing this, and you can make the great content, you're gonna do it. These things are ringing through my head. You better bet we're gonna do it. You better, and if Poe, you're watching that too, I can guarantee you better bet it's gonna happen. Because I don't roll over and I'm not playing dead for that one. It's going to happen. So I tell people a lot of times, it's just my general statement. You either get on board or get out of my way. It's just that simple. Because the whole trait, and I shared, this is kind of another personal, I shared this conversation, again, I won't give too much in detail just because, you know, for airway purposes, it's more personal for me, but I had this similar conversation on the phone with him about this. As I said, and I'm sure you guys probably had this, you and Amber had this probably with him too, but the level of success that he achieved, for however you want to view it, is something I really aspire to. I said to him, between him and between Deanie are really big influences on me for what was going, you know, we were building, what we were doing, all that stuff. So, well, I gotta be careful here. I gotta be really careful. I'm gonna get myself worked up here again. I gotta be careful. Well, pardon me, but screw that. When you lose somebody who kind of inspires you, I don't know if I can finish this sentence.
Take your time.
Take a breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You'll be fine.
Imagine Poe dancing.
Yeah.
Waving his hands in the air saying, "You guys are crazy."
It's just his constant positivity of, I said to him at one point, like, I don't know if I can do this. And his thing was, absolutely can. Well, you don't need anybody else, which I know that's part of it, but you have what it takes to do it. You're very talented with that, the production side, all that stuff. I think that's the part that's like, I think that's what hurts too more, because I'm like, I wrestle with that, between that and like, you're helping me, but I really couldn't seem to help you as much as I wanted to. I didn't know how to quite crack through, because he was always a hard nut to crack, and when he shut himself off, there was no getting into him. There just wasn't. But I lean on those because I'll share this too, just to kind of correlate. These last couple years have been absolutely horrendous for me, because now this is the second time in a 2-year period you lose somebody close to you. I can honestly, I'll level with all you guys if you're watching. I'm really getting tired of losing people with this. I really am. I'm really getting tired of it.
Me too.
Like, pardon my French, and I never say this, but fuck this life for that reason. I'm really getting tired of this stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you right now, and this goes for everybody else, I am not burying any more friends. I will not do it. I don't want to do that. I can't control, obviously, a lot of things I can't control, but like, I don't want to be this kind of cause for anybody else. But I don't know. I can't. This just takes so many pieces out of you. I just don't know how much more. I really do not want to go through this again anytime. I know it's going to happen at some point. It just has to. And again, this is just for our knowledge of why, but we kind of know more. Is I don't want to have to relive this kind of similar reasons as to why we're here now. If you guys kind of know what I mean. So. Again, implore anybody, if you have friends you talk to who seem upset or downtrodden, whatever the reason is, I absolutely implore you, please make sure you take time to reach out to, especially like in this case, when you don't hear from somebody for a while. Again, I may as well try to go. I might shed a bit more tear. This is before you guys actually were here. This goes back. That big hospital. No, he came back. He'll know, but I had disappeared for a while, and one of the people blowing up my phone, checking in, are you okay? Which is something I appreciated. I think he was one of the first people I talked to when I reappeared. Even Deanie, everybody said, we're going to come out, fly out, try to find you, the whole bit. And again, that's the feeling of, had I known that this was potentially where we were going to come to this point, to hell with not reaching out. I would have flown out and scoured the whole countryside if I known that we could not be doing this right now. Hindsight's always 20/20, of course. So, but yeah, it's really important that people you're close to specifically. People have feelings. We all do. As much as we like to profess that we do, especially for men, we are not emotional at any point. Obviously, I'm a perfect example of that right now. But I will say, I want to have everybody. I want to give you guys a chance to talk, so I have to refresh. But I feel for anybody that you lose somebody close like this. It's really hard. So, and I apologize if you've lost anybody, friends, family. Like, it's tough. We do empathize. So, I'll let you guys want to share a minute. I just have to collect myself for a second. I'll be right back.
No worries.
Take your time, Justin. Do what you got to do in these difficult times. I would recommend a nice cold glass of water if you got one.
Yep.
And for anyone out there that's sitting, you may not have known Poe personally, but if you ever watched one of his podcasts, you were touched by his realism. He was real.
Yes. And doing the podcast when I was doing it with him, it was a hell of a time. It was never a dull moment. We've talked about so many different things. And talking to him on a personal level too, like like I said, he was like my best friend. Somebody I felt comfortable sharing music with. And talking about stories about when I traveled and I was with Bone and stuff like that, like I enjoyed talking to him about everything.
Yeah, well, like the personality that you saw on the air was the personality behind the curtain. He was, as I said, I didn't know him as well as everyone else on the panel did, but any interaction I ever had with him, he wasn't putting up a front. He enjoyed life. He liked having a good time. And while he might have felt constricted in some ways, he felt very free in other ways. And I think the personality you saw when he was on Three Amigos was his ability just to let loose, to be among friends, to be among people that he could be vulnerable with, but at the same time be the guy that fell out of his chair and we all laughed and we knew he'd pop back up. That was the Poe that we all knew.
Absolutely.
And if there's anybody who's going through any kind of internal struggle, we've all got our demons. There's not a person alive here that can walk without expressing that they have some kind of trauma, issues, financial, religious, relationship, personal trauma. You're a liar. And so what I think you try to make the best of a bad situation, which you can't get any worse than this. If there's any silver lining, it's that you reach out to those that love you. And if you have a friend in need, one of the worst things you can do is be pushy with them. All you can do is be there for them. So listen to them, console with them, but don't be too heavy-handed and let them get it off their chest.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, you may not reach a resolution, but you understand each other better, and the person you're with knows that they have that support from you. And that's about all that you can do as a good friend.
Yeah.
You okay, Kristen?
For the moment, yeah. I didn't hear all that, but I can guess based on the last bit, I can tell where you're going with the conversation. So, it's really it's hard when you have so many mixed emotions because, as I said, we've said it before. I said at the beginning. You know the person inside you. We didn't, maybe all of us know him super personally, some of us, but enough that you don't see the full scope of everything. I'm sitting there thinking like all these, I could go back to day one, all these memories kind of just flood back and, every moment, interaction, all that stuff. But I was thinking about something actually. I remember thinking, actually watching he always posted the gaming, doing that, which did very well. And always having a good time there. And actually, honestly, I was thinking about some projects. I have one I'll share off the camera for you guys later. Well, at least for Bill. But the basis, like when we started Three Amigos, the podcast there was really the ultimate party show, which in a way it still is. Tweaked it a little bit just because our brand is a little bit different, and it wasn't quite the same as when the three of us would do it. I wish I had clips. I'm gonna get some clips. I think I saved. I'm really glad I saved. We don't have any space for this. We don't have to save a copy of this, but I do have a lot of the episodes of us with him on there, which I'm really glad. I didn't get rid of any of those, thankfully. I could always re-download them, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way. I might try to do a mashup and see if I can get some clips at some point we can share.
I was going to say the one thing Poe always did was he made me think. And when sometimes you went to his Facebook page, he would have an inspirational quote, but you always knew it was cryptic a little. And I was always trying to think, what exactly is he getting at? He made my little gray cells work a little harder than they needed to some mornings.
Yeah. There's a lot of great moments for that too. Even the moments like when he would stream when we go live, things like that. This is gonna be one of those for at least for a little while. Those memories are just gonna keep flooding in. But this was definitely. I don't want to say, as I said before. I think I said it earlier, and I said it may have been off camera, off air, but Actually, I did say it on here. Come to think of it, it's a curveball that I did not see coming, but at the same time, just knowing a lot of the personal struggles that we did know about, it's unfortunately not terribly surprising. It's just unfortunate we're here. Now, again, there could be other factors as well. We don't know for sure. We speculate, but it's just not. This was not the kind of day I expected there. And the sad part of it is, which I kind of really feel bad about. And again, I can't because we didn't know. But like, it's almost like the feeling is, to us he just died like today, but obviously it's been like 2 weeks. But again, we didn't know that. Which I was thinking, the counteraction with that too is, in a way, it's kind of good because, we had a lot going on. And I'm not saying it to try to be like, oh, we don't want to dismissive of it, but I think obviously he'd want us to keep going on too and not spend the last 2 weeks just
He
moping
was
about it
always
either.
late, so it was. I guess that was his way of, hey guys, I'm late to the show.
Yeah.
So let's inundate them with 150 emails in 2 days. That's all Poe's doing. Thank you, buddy.
It wouldn't be surprising. I mean, that's something I could definitely put him in his, spectrum there.
I can see him tapping the shoulder of anybody that possibly would want to be on. Let's bug these guys and let's give them so many emails they won't know what to do with. That's his sense of humor.
The fun thing was we talked about doing this and even doing like a later show was we want to have like, the Howard Stern moment. But I always said, and he always liked it. He said, I want to be like the Wayne's World. I want to have, kind of like the make your own show kind of thing. On trying to be on a more positive, I personally, for as little as I've known him to, I'm very grateful to have had that time, to have shared that moment, that I got to be a part of his life, no matter how maybe minimal it was. And like I said, I can probably say this now, I rehydrated, so I shouldn't cry about it, but I can't guarantee it. He had said to me, he goes, I appreciate you talking with me. We always got along. Of everybody in the cast when we did Pod Squad, he said I didn't really always get along close to everybody, but he said you and I always kind of hit it off. Which I said the feelings were mutual. I felt the same way. So, on the positive side of it, as hard as it is to be positive, because this is never, obviously it's quite a downer regardless, but I'm just glad that I'm part of that tapestry of his part of his life, just as he's a part of my story now, my life, for interacting, and everything else, and sharing similar things in common and stuff. I'm trying to think even what was our best memory talking. There's a lot. I mean, there's just a few.
Well, that you bringing this up actually brings up something I was thinking of. And if there's anybody out there that has some fun stories or interesting stories, or quite frankly, life isn't always easy and you want to tell those stories, put them on our Facebook group, email us individually, personally message us, because as much as we're maybe feeling down in the weeds right now, it can also be a celebration of life. So let's get some of those. Oh, maybe you went out to the clubs with him one night and you did something silly, or you had a guy's night out and, he had too much of this, that, and the other. Those are the kind of stories that aren't always published.
Right.
And, everybody can tell what he was like with his persona on the air. But some of you know him off air in a way that we won't know.
Yeah.
So if you have any, or if you just have some interaction as a follower or a listener and he reached out to you, let us know, because everything at this point is positive towards a celebration of life. And
speaking of that, actually a good point. And if you want, I think if you have the calendar handy, put this on the calendar now. So look up, I'm not sure what the day is. I'm not looking at it, but, we're going to call it, well, I guess we'll title it Pagosi Day, or we'll call it something. Maybe we'll think of a better name. But so we want to do something. We'll do a special show. I'm not sure what the date is. What's September 4th this year?
Let me all the way over.
Just before we get too far ahead.
July, August, September 4th is a Friday. How
Well,
ironic!
isn't that ironic?
It's in the stars.
Friday night is always Three Amigos. You know, we do a party show that starts the weekend. So, as fortuitous, we are going to have we'll continue the Pagosi tribute or Memorial Day show.
Maybe
that Friday night. What?
Maybe we can do Nurse Ratchet as a tribute to Poe on that day.
We could. We could definitely do that. I'm trying to think of some other things we talked about doing.
I don't drink anymore. I was going to say I don't drink anymore, so I can't match him on his beer.
Well, what we're gonna do? I was thinking about this. I have the clip. I don't know if I have the photo. I don't have a clip. I don't. I'll play it here just for him because I remember this was our fun moment. He had a hard time with this, but he was confident I could win this, but I couldn't. Let me see if I can find it. Give me just a second here. That's not the right thing. We're gonna do this again. You guys don't have to do this. I will definitely do it. I don't know if Big Hoss will do it. Let me see if I can find it. I know I saved it. I just have to go back because it's been a minute. Oh, here it is. So one thing we did do, which Poe was a big part of. Let's see if I gotta delete something. I gotta clean out this stuff. This is ridiculous. What can I take off? I can take off this one photo because we did the tribute for that. Let's take this off. Nope, I did that already. Hang on. I think I can add it now. So what we'll do for Pagosi Day, or whatever we call it, Pagosi Tribute Day, something. You get the idea. For Three Amigos on that, we did this. If you guys didn't see the episode, I think it's still up and around too. We did this. This was a lot of fun. I want to play this to honor Poe for that because he was there for this show. He didn't win the challenge. I came close, but I couldn't do it. But in honor of that, I think we're going to do this for fun. We can change it up a little bit, but I'd like to do it. But here you go. This is kind of like a blast from the past. This was about. This wasn't this year. This was I think this was last year, last March. So here we go. That was a fun episode.
I remember him talking about that.
I want to do something similar if we cannot get mustard. Something,
The thought of mustard soda makes me cringe.
It's not. It's real. Well, here's the thing. It's actually it doesn't taste anything like the mustard. And that's one of the complaints we talked about later was for that we could have just drank French's mustard right from the bottle. It's not that bad. I'll have to ask Deanie. I think I can get it probably off of Amazon. I still have the bottle actually. I saved it. But we'll do something fun like that because that was something he was big on. I'm trying to think what else.
How about jerk sauce?
Jerk sauce?
Like Jamaican jerk?
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else, but okay.
No. All right. Something like that.
We could.
Something fun.
We could do that. I think it would be only fitting. I'm trying to think. I'll definitely have to have. I don't know if I could chug a 40, but
I've already had cranberry hot sauce. How much more can I?
Well, you'd be surprised. No, we could do that. But my point being is, if you guys, we'll design something to promote that too. But come join us for that.
If you guys have any ideas, please throw them our way.
Yeah, come have fun with it. It'll be a nice tribute day, and the only reason I say it is because that's Poe's birthday, which again, ironically falls on Friday nights, which we moved Three Amigos to. It only makes sense. So we'll do that. Honestly, this is gonna sting for a while, obviously, because it's really raw for us now, because obviously just hearing that. But we will keep the memory alive, as we said. We're gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna carry Poe with us for that. You're gone but never forgotten. I know it's cliche, but it is true. And my personal hope for us, I know I haven't talked to him probably for a couple months since everything, obviously a lot of things were said, things happen. I'm over that stuff. It doesn't bother me anymore. But one thing I carry for me as a podcaster, as a content creator, is just how much his approval meant and how much he complimented me on, for sticking to it and doing what I've been doing, and to keep motivating and doing that. So, but yeah, I mean, again, it is unfortunate. We are saddened by this. We will obviously put this up one more time. We're gonna wrap things here again because we have a lot of guests. We're gonna do something again soon. But mark that date down, September 4th, Poe's birthday and official Pogosi tribute day. I guess I got to figure something out. We'll talk later about it. We'll figure something out. We'll have
If there's anybody who's a creative out there that isn't using ChatGPT, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, if you are, great. If you have some photos, whatever works. And again, we appreciate you guys. If you're not, even if you can't be here live, if you're watching this, we appreciate allowing us to have our moment. We needed this just to kind of express our feelings because we hadn't had a chance to really do this all together. So we might end up doing this again at some point. We can't say for sure. It's just going to take a little time.
It's a bit of a cathartic exercise, but anybody who's ever lost anyone who wasn't maybe perhaps an elderly grandparent has, and even then it stings. This stings in a way that is different than someone who had a medical complication. This is just, now we're not trying to speculate because that's not going to do us any good.
No, it's moot. We don't know for sure, but
no, we don't know a thing. And quite frankly, sometimes being in the dark is a good thing.
Right.
So everybody out there, my final words would be, if you need help, get some. If you know somebody who needs help, just be there. And as crappy as it is to think of right now, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Trust it. I've had my own battles with therapy and group therapy, and I've fought those wars as well. So get the help you need and learn to give yourself some grace. And that's what you got to remember.
Anything you want to share to Amber for your part?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get through it still.
It's okay.
I'm just very emotional. I'm trying to not cry. It's been a rough day.
Well, to make it easier for you, why don't you sum up Poe in one sentence?
If you can.
If you can.
Poe was like a brother that I always fought with.
Mm-hmm.
And when I needed something, I can always run to him and tell him, like my little gossiper. And he made me feel confident in singing. Like I said, for years and years, I'd send him little snippets of me singing, and he was no judgment at all. Even when I was sick and I was singing, he'd be like, "Oh, you're perfect."
I've got thoughts for Poe Day. Perhaps we could show some of those videos.
Yeah, maybe. That's possible. That is possible.
But now, and we're not trying to pressure you, Amber. Nothing embarrassing. Just
no, not a bit.
They're more little clips. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Facebook saved them all, but I know there is some. Yeah, I know there's some.
We'll plan it. We have time. We got some time until then. It's going to be awesome. It'll be really special. Again, it's going to give us a chance. We have to do this still. I mean, one time is not enough, but we are going to continue to heal from this and continue on and carry Poe's legacy and a memory on with us too. And so for my part, and I'm going to say this personally, I know he's not here, but Poe, for you, bro, listen, we all love you dearly. You meant a lot to us. You always will. You do. I will have a drink that day. I don't have anything with me. I always say you should get more. I should have. But cheers to you. As you say, the party never stops. The party always goes on. So, in honor of you and your memory, we will do that. We thank you very much for everything that you've done for yourself and everything that you've done and played a part in all of our lives. And I truly hope we played a large part to some degree in yours. So, and everybody watching there, thank you for being here, again, live or not. We appreciate that support. You're welcome to comment. Please leave some there. If you want to comment on social media, we've been posting things. Everybody has, but we thank you guys very much for understanding this tough time. And lastly, too, if any of you guys are fans from Poe there, by all means, we'd love to have you come check out our content. You might be familiar. I know he shared some stuff when we would go live. So if you're familiar with us, stick around. We got lots of great stuff. Again, in honor of him too, we're going to continue on. I know he'd want us to do that. So he always said, you got to keep going with the mic, turn the mic on. The mic shouldn't come off until, it's necessary. So with that being said, we are going to put up Poe's picture again. Again, we appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. We thank you. If anyone of you know Poe personally, families watching this or hears this, or of anything, our deepest condolences, our sympathies to you all. Much love. If you need anything, we are all here for absolute certain. But we say here, at least for now, we say I don't want to say our final goodbye in a way, because we're probably going to say this again, but we do want to honor and recognize Gabriel Alexander Coda, aka Pagosi, Sinister Poe, the Drunk Wizard of Gaming, a good brother, a good friend, great entertainer, ultimately podcaster. You're gone way too soon. You'll never be forgotten. You've touched all of us as we hope we touched you. And until we can all podcast again, we'll meet again soon one day. We love you. We miss you, but we'll always carry you with us. And just thank you. And we're thankful that we had you. So to everybody there, everybody who's watched there, good night. We'll see you all soon. We have more great content coming. I'll just take a moment of silence here. Everybody else can hop off if they want. Just you got to look here, and then I'm going to play the outro, and that's going to do it for us. So please be happy, be healthy, and be safe. Hold your loved ones, hug them tightly. Make sure you tell them that you love them. Don't take any moment for granted, because you never know, and we don't know how short life is, and it is precious. So we wish the best for each and every one of you. So thank you so much for being here. And until next time, we say good night.
Good night.
Good night, people.